Since you are a little child, you are dreaming of traveling to Africa and going on a safari. And now it's the time. You actually make it happen. But there's one big problem. And it's a big one. You have no idea how much you really have to spend on an African safari.
The best Kenya travel advice in the world. Sharing insider tips no one talks about. Real and authentic. Kenya Travel Secrets.
So that's exactly why I'm here. And in case you don't know me yet, my name is Sinya, and I am traveling and living in Kenya since over 9 years. And I have made it to my mission to help first-time travelers to plan their trip. And that's why I thought, like, okay, let's dive into this so that you can get a clear idea how much you should be spending on your safari. So in this YouTube podcast, I'll be giving you the idea, an exact safari breakdown, how much cost, like what goes where, why is the big difference between $2,000 or maybe 20,000 USD dollars, then what should an average safari day cost for me, so that you can get your planning and get your budget straight. And as well, at the end, I'll be sharing with you the tips which you should not miss out. You have to know before you're thinking about booking a safari online with a tour operator. So let's get into this. So number one, as I promised, the breakdown of the costs. How do I know, like, how comes a quotation can be $2,000, another one 20,000 USD dollars for the same itinerary, but different tour companies? So I tell you, the difference is in the hotels. What this means is that you can be sleeping in a hotel which is like low budget and you spend around $50 per person per day. You can spend in a hotel luxury and spending around $1,500 or maybe even $2,000 per person per day. And that is insane. And that's where your biggest difference comes when it comes to your itinerary building and to your costs. So at the end of the day, when you get a quotation from a tour operator, you first of all have to go and see, okay, is it really a private safari? Do they include like a Land Cruiser and your own private driver and guide, which costs you around $250 per day? That is now this year in 2023. When it comes to next year, 2024, we are talking about around $300 most likely, because fuel prices are going up like crazy. So you have to calculate, let's say for 2024, $300 for your car, Land Cruiser, driver, guide, fuel, everything included. Around $100 entrance fee. Right now, the government has doubled the prices, some of them in the parks, which is insane. And we don't yet even know what is going to happen with Masai Mara. We know from KWS, all these parks, they're already out, and it's around $100 or even $120 USD dollars entrance fee, depending on the season you're coming. There's a high season and a low season. And for Masai Mara, it's already $80, and we are worried that they might double the cost or raise it up to $120, $150, or even higher than that. But we don't yet know. So just calculate for now around $100 per day per person entrance fee for your safari. So if you're going 5 days, do that times 5, just to be on the safe side for easy calculations. Now on top comes your hotel. And now, tada, that's where the big difference comes. So when you get your itinerary back, you go and check hotels which are included. Go and see how valuable they are. Like, are these really like 5-star hotels? What do they offer apart? Is it like an all-inclusive service? Or how are the sleeping conditions? Is it a low-budget hotel, or what do they give? So that's a very big difference. But let me tell you one thing. When it comes to the itinerary planning, one of the biggest misconception or the problems the tour operator usually have is like when they give you an itinerary, they usually quote you with the standard itinerary, which is like Masai Mara, Nakuru, Amboseli. But in Kenya, there is way more to explore and experience than these 3 parks. And most of the tourists, they don't know better. That's why they choose and they go and they book it. And that's the sad truth here in Kenya. So if you want to have an authentic experience or go like the hidden spots and where not everyone is, like, you have to get deeper, do better research, or connect with me, for example. That's what I do. I help first-time travelers to plan their trip and make sure that you have an authentic experience and get the experience you want. It's not necessarily like the most top 3 national parks or reserves. There are other places which they offer outdoor experiences. Dinner or breakfast you can have with giraffes, which is one of my favorites, and so many more things. Or even like a real authentic village visit which you can include. So if you're interested in that and you say like, Sinja, I want your help, you can find a free itinerary planner down below. Just go click the link and then you will get to my team, and then we can help you and plan with you your trip to Kenya. I wanted to share quickly where I am because I am truly in love with this place, and as I mentioned, I'm traveling here through Kenya. I'm driving actually myself with a car, a 4x4, and my little one, my 2-year-old son. And just recently I got to know about this beautiful beach cottage, and this place is located in the northern parts near the Indian Ocean. It's directly at the beach, and what I love is that this place, I didn't know it exists before. That's number one, it's a hidden gem, and number two, it's run by a small cute family, and they just have a couple of rooms, and they are specialized on kids travel. And the fact that I'm traveling with my little one, I'm telling you, this is a must for every mom here who's listening, to include that maybe at the end of your safari. Come a few days to the coast and experience this. Like, this is amazing. Let me get into number 2. Get your budget right. And what it means, the average cost. I would say per person per day, and you have to calculate with like 4 or 5 day safari. So this is like the average. People go on a 4 or 5 day safari, the ones who comes to Kenya first time. Average, I would say medium budget, put in place $400 to $500 per person. Luxury, $1,000. And then of course high end, maybe even $1,500 per person per day. And then you're on a good side. So if you now were and you were like, oh my God, did you just say $1,000 or $1,500 per person per day, and this is not for you? Relax, I got you. There are other ways as well, other options in Kenya to travel a bit more affordable. So I was talking all this time about a private safari. Now you can have the other option to join a group. But here's the big but. These group safaris are mainstream safaris. So you will most likely not have any authentic travels or experiences, because this needs to be on a private one where you can tailor-made your planning, your itinerary. For the group joining, you can travel as low as $120, $150 most likely in 2024, because entrance prices, everything will go up. So let's say $150 per person per day. You can join a group. Everything is included. A small group, let's say 6 to 7 people maximum. It's a safari van, not a Land Cruiser, which means it's like more like a small bus, which has a roof which can be opened to save costs. And then, no budget accommodations. But you sleep in a tented camp. This means it has a toilet inside, it has a bed inside, it has mosquito nets, it has everything. So in Kenya, we don't just go out with a sleeping bag and a tent and you sleep there. No. It's a tented camp, which looks like a tent, but if you go in, it's actually like a room. So these are like some of the low budget versions. So this is possible. So if you want that, I can as well help you with that. You can just comment below, Sinja, help me in something like, say, group safari, and I can help you and connect you with someone who deals with that. Because for this, we need special tour operators who do a good job in that. Okay, another thing on how you could actually save some money when you say like, yes, you know, for me, all what matters is the experience. I don't really matter about the Land Cruiser. Then that's fine. You can actually say to the tour company, instead of giving me a Land Cruiser, just give me a safari van, and then it's cheaper for you, and you will save around $100 per day just by changing the car. And another thing is, instead of going to the big parks where you pay like $100 per day entrance fee, you can go to small, more unknown conservancies or have some other experiences where you pay for the experience directly, but you don't have to pay an entrance fee, or even if, then the entrance fee is way lower. Yeah, so as promised, the last point, I wanted to give with you the real tips, or a good tip which you have to watch out before you actually start booking a safari with a tour operator online. First of all, in Kenya, you can never be sure about online reviews or ratings, and also about their social media. Let's say there are really good hotels out there in Kenya, but they have a crap social media because they don't have the money, or they have not even see the need to invest in it and then invest in a marketing person and pimp all their social media. But they are run by locals. They have a really good, authentic experiences, and that's the places I like as well. Like where you can just go and you feel like, wow, this is amazing, and you connect with the African culture. Then another thing is, if you just choose like any tour operator online, you have to really be careful about their guide and the qualifications about the guide. So I have been working in the past with many tour operators. I've been going on hundreds of safaris, but I'm only sticking to a couple of tour operators I work with. And that's mainly because of the guides. The guide is at the end of the day the person which will make your safari from being like, you see what you want to see, like maybe you see it if you're lucky, to an extreme, ultra amazing, once in your lifetime experience where you actually maybe witness a hunt, or you witness leopards or cheetah, or you see rhinos in Masai Mara, or whatsoever it is. Like only good guides who have a good qualification, or even the guides who live around. Like for example, in Masai Mara, there are Masai guides. They are doing nothing else apart from being a guide in Masai Mara. Now, if you come with your guide from Nairobi, for example, or someone who's not experienced, then you might face a big problem because this guide might not know where residential lions, for example, are, or leopards. So it is always good to work with locals directly, or using companies who use locals there. Yeah, so that is one of the main things I have learned, and I completely underestimated when I went the first time on a safari, because I was like, yeah, animals are animals and they're there. But it's not true. The guide has to find them. He has to know where they are so that you have a good experience. Okay, so that was it for today. I hope you liked it. I just thought of sharing all my knowledge so that you have the chance to not do the same mistakes as I did when I traveled the first time to Kenya and went on a safari, or even having the feeling like, oh my God, they ripped me off because now I paid so much money but you still didn't get the experience you wanted. Or if you sign up for a group safari, at least know what is gonna happen on the ground. And as I mentioned, if you need more information, I'm sure you know where to get me by now. And yeah, I am excited to see you soon in my next video, and I wish you a lovely day.